Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Tuesday, which I cannot believe I've spent all day assuming it was Thursday. It is a day that is dragging. It is now 5 o'clock, so I hope you're popping one wherever you are. Hope you're having a good day. And if you are so inclined, I hope you were watching that Euros match that just concluded. Holy Toledo. Turkey, Austria, certainly one of the better matches of the tournament. If you're not so inclined, I understand. Hope you're having a great time doing whatever it is you do. Now that it is July and we are 20 days away from the start of training camp. That's right, 20 days away from the beginning of Green Bay Packers training camp. My God, people, we're almost there. We've almost made it. Hello to everyone in the comment section. So good to see everyone piling in early and often. That's what I like to see. Thank you so much. The other thing I like is when you want to go see the Green Bay Packers play live and in person in 2024, you know what you want to utilize. You want to utilize Ticket King, people. That's right. Based in Wisconsin since 1992, Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to help you find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last-minute tickets or possible upgrades. They even have a drive-through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, in the description of this video, or in the Cheesehead TV app. Do it, folks. You don't want to utilize Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, none of these national companies. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s. Shop local. Ticket King for all your Packers ticket needs. Do it, folks. I want to talk about Sterling Sharpe, people, because you know what? It's my chat. It's my gig. I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. And I was just perusing the internet, as I am wont to do, earlier today, and I was looking at some old Sterling Sharpe footage, highlights, games. My God, people, it is a damn travesty, if I can use that word. A damn shame that Sterling Sharpe is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is patently absurd, considering what he did on a football field throughout his NFL career in comparison to not only his peers, but plenty of people who have come afterwards. I understand the argument against him as far as the lack of longevity, but at this point, there are plenty of guys who played even fewer seasons and or just a few more seasons than Sterling who have made it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame without problem, without issue. And I know it is on the senior committee, many of whom maybe possibly hold a bit of a grudge because Sterling was a little prickly when he played. I know the media was not a big fan back in those days, but I would think with the passage of time, with the ability to look back dispassionately, if you are able to do so, you would look at Sterling's career and just understand what a complete void it is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame to not have his inclusion. A 3-time first team All Pro with 5-time Pro Bowl selections in only 7 seasons. In 92, he set the NFL record with 108 receptions. You know what he did in 93? He broke his own record with 112 receptions. Sharpe led the league in receptions 3 times, touchdowns twice, and receiving yards twice. Michael Irvin, who never led the league in receptions and only led the league in receiving yards once, is in the Hall of Fame. James Lofton never led the league in receptions, receiving yards, or touchdowns, also in the Hall of Fame. Sharpe started 112 games, finished with 595 receptions, 8,134 receiving yards, and 65 receiving touchdowns. In the 7 years he played, from 88 to 94, his 595 receptions, second in that span. The receiver who is first in almost everything, is Jerry Rice. The fact that you can look at his numbers throughout his tenure in the NFL and then compare them to the greatest receiver who ever lived and find out that he is just a notch below throughout the entirety of his career. Oh, and by the way, who was throwing the football to Jerry Rice? I believe he played with only Hall of Fame quarterback play in San Francisco. While, yes, at the end of his kind of career prior to being injured, Sterling played with a future Hall of Famer in Brett Favre prior to Favre becoming a MVP. But he also played with the likes of Anthony Dilweg, Bud Keys, Mike Tomczak. He did have some rapport and success with Don Mikowski, but it's not like he was playing with a who's who at quarterback. And he certainly wasn't playing with the likes of Joe Montana or Steve Young. I just get a bit despondent when I look at how many years have gone by and the fact that we can look at the numbers, you can look at the tape. There is plenty on offer. Hell, I encourage every selector in the Pro Football Hall of Fame to just go on YouTube, search Sterling Sharpe, and tell me, looking at his numbers and then looking at his play on the field, that he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, especially when you consider guys like Irvin or even other guys that aren't even at wide receiver. Like Baselli just went in, a left tackle who never won a championship, which is always used against Sterling Sharpe because people point to Terrell Davis, right? Well, Terrell Davis had a shortened career. Yes, but he played well and produced in a Super Bowl and won championships. Okay, great. Baselli's in the Hall of Fame. Never sniffed a Super Bowl. Well, I guess he did, actually. He got to an AFC championship game, but he wasn't in a Super Bowl, never played in a championship game, yet he's in the Hall of Fame. Sterling Sharpe was a man among boys, and his continued absence in the Pro Football Hall of Fame throws the whole thing into comic relief. I was going to say sharp relief, but it's pretty comedic that Sterling Sharpe, one of the greatest players to ever wear a uniform in the NFL, is not honored in a hall that is dedicated to honoring the best who ever did it. Sterling is one of them. It is long past time for the senior committee to dust off any issues they had, work it out with their therapist, dispassionately judge his candidacy, and put him in the hall. Because it is long past time to do so. You guys know I get all worked up about this nonsense. Hello to everybody in the comments. Hope you're all doing well. So good to see everybody. Quinn starting us off with a super chat. What's up? Hey, Nags. I miss rookie Eddie Lacy. That's all. Man, 2014 Eddie Lacy is the bomb.com. No question about it. Joey, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. I will be using Ticket King for my Super Bowl 59 tickets. See, now you're talking sense. Now you are talking sense, sir. That's what I like to hear. Get all of your Packers tickets, including your Super Bowl tickets at Ticket King. Do it, people. Simatovic, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on, oh my gosh, USMNT go. If they change managers, who? Oh, I'm not going to pretend to have my finger on the pulse of possible replacements for Greg Berhalter, but he should definitely be replaced. I don't think there's any doubt there. But look, it goes way deeper than just the coach. Yes, the coach should change. Yes, they should do a lot to kind of, drive upheaval when it comes to U.S. soccer, but we know they won't. We know it'll never happen. There's way too much ingrained in the system at this point. I love that graphic we got treated to last night where they were like, their historical accomplishments in the Copa America. Greatest finish, 4th twice. Can't even say you made the finals. Like you finished 4th twice. We're not even talking about World Cup here, obviously. Like, it's just sad, man. It's just sad. What else we got here, folks? Sharpe was also unstoppable in Madden NFL 94. I was scoring 90-yard TDs on and around in that game. Yeah, he was unstoppable in every aspect of life. No doubt about it. Players with 8,000 yards and 4 or more 10-plus TD seasons are 7 Hall of Famers and Sterling Sharpe and Art Powell. Man, it's just ridiculous. Like, because my thing is always, okay, look at the tape, right? There's plenty on offer. You don't have every down, you don't have every single snap, but most of his games are available. And you can go and watch a lot of what he did, right? And then people say, well, the numbers. Well, look at the numbers. If you marry the two, it's impossible to deny that Sterling Sharpe belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, unless you have a vendetta against the man. Like, that's the only reason. 0 reason. What else we got here, folks? Jim, what's up, man? Random Packer, Carl Swanky. Jim, I think that's probably before my time, but that's random. What's up, Atomic Hound? Sterling beat the Bears in the 1989 replay game. Adequate credentials right there for the Hall of Fame. A classic moment in Packers history. Nick D, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. More underappreciated Packer linebacker that is/was really good, Preston Smith or AJ Hawk? Go Pack, go. Oh, that's an interesting question. I think you're right in regards to both being underappreciated. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, both here on Daily and on Packer Transplants, regarding Hawk and the expectations and the lens he's viewed through because of his draft position and the perception that he somewhat underdelivered in that regard because people expected him to be a lot more dynamic. But you can also make the claim that that long-term investment certainly paid off regarding the fact that he helped them win a Super Bowl. He helped bring a title back to Titletown, and he was an absolute Iron Man, answering the bell down in, down out, but also week in, week out, game in, game out, year in, year out. The man was nearly indestructible and played through a ton of injuries. And I don't think that gets appreciated enough. So I agree with you in regards to the underappreciation of AJ Hawk. When it comes to Preston, it's interesting because I think he only gets underappreciated, so to speak, when people start looking at his contract. And we've seen a lot of kind of, I don't want to say grousing, but we've seen complaints from Packers fans online about, oh, he needs to take a pay cut or whatever. And this is eventually what's ended up happening. They've adjusted his contract as the years have gone on. But I think fans just see a lack of sack numbers and, line up against a guy where I think Preston's one of the most kind of steady, productive, high level, consistent players that they've had at that position for a long, long time. Playing on the outside, not only sturdy against the run, but also able to produce when he's asked to get after the quarterback. Go back and watch that Minnesota game last year in Minnesota on the road against a pretty damn good left tackle. I mean, he gave him all sorts of trouble in that game. I'm not going to say single-handedly brought them the victory, on the defensive side of the ball, but he certainly made that young quarterback's life misery because he was just whooping up on the left tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. And again, it's not a game that I think most people probably remember Preston Smith for, but I think it's one of his best games in a Packers uniform. And those are the things that, yes, they do get somewhat underappreciated. No doubt about it. What else we got here, folks? Andrew, what's up, man? That turkey game, though, oh, dude. Need a smoke after that one. Joey, what's going on? Shannon literally said his brother is better than him. He most certainly did one of the better Hall of Fame induction speeches you'll ever see. It is funny, though, because I do remember when Sterling was in the league and Shannon was coming up, and people used to talk about, oh, you think Sterling's good, wait till you see Shannon. So it's kind of funny. They're both obviously outstanding. They're both incredible all-world players. It just obviously insanely unfortunate that Sterling had the neck injury, cut short his time, because we were robbed, man, as fans. We, not just Packers fans, NFL fans, were robbed of one of the greatest to ever do it. No question about it. What else we got here, folks? Uncultured, what's up, man? Sharpe was awesome to watch. He should get in the Hall of Fame alone for that commercial with Dennis Hopper. Choo-choo, baby. Man, those Dennis Hopper commercials were amazing. But my favorite one, I love the Steve Young one. The Sterling Sharpe one was great. He did one with, I think, with, was it Jerry Rice? It was another 49er. But my favorite one of all time is the one with Barry Sanders. And he's like, Barry Sanders made this move, man. Barry Sanders made this move. I still see that move in my sleep. Hopper's so great. Well, I think those are on YouTube. If you haven't seen those, check it out. Andrew's Paradise, what's going on, man? Random Packer, Tootie Robbins. Oh, there you go. Now, that's one I've heard of. Brett, thanks for the chat, man. Do you think Hafley will run some of those A-gap mug fronts with Walker and Cooper like Zimmer used to do so much with Kendricks and Barr? I don't know. That's a good question. It's not specifically something that I would kind of leap to as far as a possibility. I do think you're going to see some outside the box type stuff, some bear fronts, some Rex Ryan type pressures. He's got that in his history. He's worked with a couple of different coaches in a couple of different schemes that feature those kind of pressures. But yeah, the double A gap mugging stuff, I don't know. Maybe. I'd love to see it. I'd love to get those backers up there making the quarterback and the center nervous. And are they coming? Are they dropping? What have you? I think there's a possibility you see some of it, maybe a wrinkle here or there in that regard, but I don't know. I would suspect probably not a staple of his defense, just given his background and the types of schemes he's been in before and kind of how his coaching path has gone. But hey, you never know, man. All it takes is him seeing it on tape and going, "Oh, I want to steal that." Coaches do that all the time. What else we got here, folks? Uncultured. Thanks again, man. My favorite commercial in that group was Bruce Smith. Bad things, man. Bad things. So good. So good. Michael, you're spot on here. Sharp is also great for a quote he gave to the Fox guys along the lines of most QBs celebrate with you when you score a TD, but my QB always turns to coach to see if he should celebrate first. Oh, I love it. Brandy, Sharp in this offense would be a blast. Can you imagine? Oh my God. That's the other thing. The way he was able to move and utilize his physicality after the catch, obviously something that is on offer in Matt's offense. Get guys moving horizontally and then get upfield after they catch that football. Sharp would have 2,000 yards, man. Ridiculous. Ed, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. So, what do you think the main reason is for Sharp not being in the Hall of Fame? Stats seem to pop out. So, what's the reason? I kind of alluded to it earlier. I think certainly early in his tenure, guys with shorter careers were pretty irregular when it came to Hall of Fame induction. Couple that with the way he was with the media during his career. You don't have to go very far to find someone who was covering either the team or the NFL in general who has something to say about the way Sterling Sharpe treated the media. It's not a secret. He made no bones about it. It was very in your face as far as he had a very, to put it the kindest way possible, adversarial relationship with the media. Unfortunately, many of those media members go on to become people who have the power to include or not include Sterling Sharpe when it comes to not even forget getting in the Hall of Fame, like getting to be a finalist in the Hall of Fame. He went through his 20-year window, barely got a sniff. Now most of the noise has come when he's been, eligible as a senior member. And I just hope the senior committee at some point is able to look past whatever grievances they have with Sterling, personally, professionally, what have you. And again, just dispassionately judge what he did on a football field, because you cannot deny it was greatness. And I don't use that word lightly. What else we got here, folks? Joe, what's up, man? I was at that game in Milwaukee when Sterling stopped just short of the end zone because of the snow before scoring. The memories. Again, available on YouTube. That's a classic game. Absolute classic. Andrews, what's up, man? How long after humans colonize Mars will the NFL want to hold a game there? You got jokes. Andrew. I don't know. When I go down to Brazil and I have that experience, I'll report back. Between London and Brazil, I'll have a good handle on how soon we'll be able to have the NFL holding a game on Mars. How's that? Sharp was impossible to tackle in a harder hitting league. He'd be unstoppable now. Brad, you are not incorrect, sir. Dennis says, I remember him playing through injuries. Yeah, all the time. The man didn't shy away from contact, and that did mean, yes, he took a few more hits than he probably may have been able to avoid if he had just stepped out of bounds, but that wasn't his style. He played through the tackle. He played through contact. The man was an absolute animal. Brandon. Okay. First of all, that's a ridiculous phrase. If the media was so upset with Sterling, then why did they let him be on halftime shows for years? Well, because producers on television are not covering NFL teams. If you're a producer and you've got a guy who's loquacious and really knowledgeable of the game and has a great personality, you don't care that he was a jerk to you in the locker room, or a jerk to not you, but some local scribe in the locker room. See, This is the problem, if I may borrow a phrase, with you people. You lump the media, quote unquote, all in one bucket when it's very, 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 very fragmented. And hell, now in 2024, 10,000 times more so than it was even then when Sterling was on halftime shows. Don't be labeling the media with the media. You got to be a lot more specific. Now, am I a little prickly about this because I often get labeled as the media? Maybe, possibly. But yeah, producers of television shows have like very little to do with local reporters going in and dealing with the athletes. They don't care about that. They just want somebody who's good on TV. What else we got? The Mars rover position. Brandy doesn't miss a beat. Boom, boom, Jim, thanks again, man. In my car in the jam for the NFC next season just popped. Joy Division. Love will tear us apart. Karma. Nice. Jim, look at you with the Joy Division. I absolutely love it. Brandy says the media is Bukowski. Oh, yeah, okay. It's time for me to go before I get in any trouble. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. If you're a Carry the G Club member or a Patreon member, don't forget, happy hour is at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Lambeau time this evening. I'll see you guys there. The information that you need for the Zoom and everything is on your respective pages. In the meantime, please hit like, hit subscribe. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much, and go Pack Go.